to my channel. Familiar face.
Hi.
Reintroduce
Did you
yourself.
miss me?
No.
My name is Demi Bioko.
And my name is Jadis Hola Samuel, the custodian of this channel.
Not custodian. Just kidding. Yeah. Anyways, we're back here again to do the continuing part of the video that I just dropped last week. I know that doesn't sound very concise, but anyways, so we're doing Let's Talk About Grief Part 2. So we're just going to pretty much be addressing the people that are grieving, not the friends of people that are grieving, but people that are grieving. And can you share your story?
Well, I don't know. Like, I'm really trying to think, because whenever it comes to grief, I always feel like unqualified to talk about it, because I don't feel like I've lost people, but I guess maybe because I've not lost an immediate family member. But I've lost, I think the most painful death I can think of right now that's been the most recent was my family friend. She had cancer. She had cancer of the bone marrow, and it started off as cancer of the bone marrow, then it went to cancer of the blood. She was like, I'm 21, so she would have been like 19 this year. They started, I think, about 4 years ago, or probably more than that. She passed away 2 years ago, and then so she was pretty young when it started, and it was like misdiagnosis at first in Nigeria, and then she had to phone abroad. And in the UK they found out it was cancer of the bone, and then she was there being treated, and it was just like so surreal. Like, you know, I see these things on TV, and I just didn't know how to. I just felt like she would be well, and she was. Like, it went away, like went into remission, right, and everything. And she came back. She was able to come back to school. She got back into school, to making friends. So happy, and she was such a happy child. She was an only child like me as well. And her mom and my mom have known each other forever, so I've known her all my life. I knew her all my life. And then so I remember when it came back. When it came back, it was worse. I guess it was cancer of blood this time. And I didn't have the opportunity to see her when it came back because I was here. I don't think I went home that period. And then, but I used to talk to her occasionally online and just like talk to her and everything. And then, not too long before she passed away, she was in the hospital. She was just staying in the hospital. She had to leave school. She was in the US, and they had to bring her back to Nigeria. I think she was better, but she had to just stay in the hospital. So my mom was there frequently. So when I would call my mom, I would speak to her. And I remember, like, literally the day before she passed away, I was like, I wanted to talk to her. I just wanted to be sure. I think what was really bothering was I wanted to be sure where even though she was an amazing person, she was sweet and everything, I wanted to be sure of her understanding of salvation and that she was saved. And I wanted to just understand where her peace was, like what her mind was at. So I called her and we spoke about that, and she was saved. And we spoke about like the weather, and we were arguing about whether it's better to be in Canada or Nigeria, and we arguing, and I was like, I will speak to her tomorrow. And tomorrow morning, the following morning, my housemate came to my room. My mommy had contacted her to tell her to bring the news to me. And I think I had a quiz that day, I remember. So I woke up to get ready for school, and Mama came to tell me. And when she said it at first, it just didn't make any sense. So when it registered, I cried myself to sleep. And so Mama had to message my instructors for me that I couldn't come in and all that. And one was very understanding. One had because I was very understanding. But that was the response to me. It was fine. And all I could think of was, I'm so happy I spoke to her the day before. I couldn't, if I had not August had divorced. I felt so terrible. But all I could think of was how was her mom going to cope? Because like I said, she was an only child, and I was like, not like having more than one children is it's easier to
One children?
Hey, one
child.
child. Yeah, you talk too much. One child, and then it's not like it's any easier to lose your child when you have more than one. But then, to me, I'm just like, I cannot imagine. I know that I don't know what would happen to my mom if something happened to me. So I was just like really worried for her mom. Really worried for her mom. I didn't know how to comfort her. I really didn't. Like when my mom would say I should try to talk to her, I was like, what do I say? Like you can say something because she's your friend, yeah. Maybe you can say something like, what would I say to her that won't hurt her more, kind of thing. And for the longest time I didn't say anything to her. My message, I sent my condolences, but I didn't really talk to her frequently. It was after I prayed for her, everything, I would try to talk, check in on her, because I knew, my mom was saying that what was hurting her the most is my mom was there right after my friend passed away. She spent most of her time at my friend's, my mom's rental, and she even fell downstairs and broke her, she sprained her ankle and everything there in the house. And but then she was saying what was worrying her was she knew people would leave eventually, and my friend would be alone, and her friend would be alone.
That's always a point.
Because she knows that it happens, right? So she was really concerned about that. And so around the time when people started leaving was around the time I guess I started talking to my friend's mom again. Just because at this point I felt like I could try. And it was just, I couldn't understand it. I really couldn't. I was like, she's young. It's not a case of you can say she's lived a full life. You heal. I was like, oh, but you heal, and you healed her before she was in remission. It was not, I don't know, I just couldn't understand it. And it's like when you're obviously in that place, it's like you feel bad while you're questioning God, but then I do have this question. Who else do I take it to?
People don't understand when people ask questions about these things, especially if they haven't been in this situation before. They're like, oh, how dare you question God? I'm like, I don't want to say anything to people when they say that, because I'm like, I don't want to wish that upon them, so I don't ever want anyone to be in that situation. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like empathy goes a long way. If you put yourself in that person's shoes, like, right, imagine this actually happened in my life. Not that you're praying for it to happen, but if you just thought about it a little longer, you would actually be like, you know what, yeah, okay, I can understand where this is coming from. Anyways, I'm just going to share my own story. So I lost my dad about 3 years ago, June 2017, and at the time I was, how am I now? I was 21. I had just turned 21, I think. Sorry, I just turned 20. My bad. Yeah, but and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, but you're an adult now, so it shouldn't be that bad. That's how I felt. I was telling myself these things in my head, okay, you're 20, this thing happened when you were 14. That could have been different, but now you're 20, so you should be able to handle this better. That's a scam. And it was one of those things where I never expected it. It blindsided me. I never expected it to happen. So the week before that was Father's Day, so I talked to him oh, love you dad, this, that, banter, money, that kind of stuff, right? So I had to talk to him, but I just never expected that a week after, he would not be around anymore, dead and gone. I never expected it, and everyone was asking what happened. I still to this day don't really know what exactly happened, what exactly led to it. I know that he did have I guess a heart attack or something. That's what they wrote on the death certificate, right? But I still don't understand how that happened, because he was aside that he was fine. He had a conference that day, whatnot. Also we were oh, we're so proud of you, everything. So I don't really understand how that happened. But Yeah, and I remember being really worried because I was like, okay, we have a big family, and most of the income from this, like for life, comes from this man, right? I'm talking like this now because it's been a couple of years, so like at the moment where it happened, this was not what I was thinking about. I was shocked, I was flabbergasted. I wasn't thinking about money, I was thinking about like, how the heck did my dad just die? Like, how did this just happen? But yeah, it was a very trying time. It felt crazy. I couldn't like, and I couldn't go home for his burial. Like, I didn't get to do all that, like paying last respects. I couldn't do any of that because like I'm in Canada for school. Visa processing didn't happen. Like, there was barely any money anywhere to be like, oh, let me do this, let me do that. Even going home at that time, like, it was a miracle that I was actually able to go home because funds were low. Obviously, planning a burial and paying for it is it's no beans, right? And obviously we did have support from family then. Like, we had a lot of support. We had people like coming to visit my mom and stuff. But then each time like anyone would visit, it would be like, okay, you appreciate people visiting, but like my siblings were very worried because they were like, every time somebody talks, like my mom just starts crying. So with getting visitors every 5 minutes, like, I'm sorry, my mom is probably watching this and then she's probably going to just be like, yeah, but they were very worried that getting visitors every 5 minutes and everything was not helping. Like, my mom would just be crying, and it was a very sad time. I mean, thank God we are coping, like we're going through this, but I mean, yeah, it was never expected. Never. Like, none of us would have guessed in our wildest dreams, and like never expected. But yeah.
I remember when you texted me like your dad had passed away. I was going into the shower to get ready and I saw it, and I didn't understand it at first.
Plus I texted like 5 people because I have a very small circle.
She texted, I figured that it wasn't me that received the text, because instead of if you received the text, I knew it was just me, but then I was just trying to wrap my head around what she had said. And then when I understood, I was crying. I cried.
You cried?
I was actually crying.
I did not know that.
When I was crying, I was like, you that are crying, how do you expect this girl to feel? Like, that was what I was thinking. My mom was like, what right do you have to cry? I never met him, unfortunately. I was only her mom, but I was crying. But I wasn't crying because I couldn't experience the loss and shit. I was crying because I could imagine how much this would hurt her. And I was just like, God, like, I was crying more for her, like the pain that she would be going through.
I don't think I even cried. Like, that first day, I don't think I cried that much because I was like, yeah. Oh, I did have some panic attacks though. And this was even when my friends were in the house. Like, I think like a couple of you were around, and then I'm not mentioning names. I remember like I went outside of the house. Like, people were playing piano, were singing songs. So I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to think about this. I don't want this to weigh me down. Like, I was trying to look on, and everybody knows that I'm not necessarily a person that looks on the bright side of things. This was the one time I was like, nah, I'm going to look on the bright side of things. But it wasn't just working. It was like I was trying to stifle the reality of this thing, and I was like, at some point I couldn't breathe. I went outside of the house gasping for air. It's Canada, it was cold. Well, it wasn't cold, it was summer, but it was like there was enough air. It wasn't like there was anything wrong with the quality of the air, but I just couldn't breathe. I couldn't fathom anything. Like, I was so lucky I didn't pass out, honestly, because I was like, I just couldn't understand what was happening. And there was only one other time before then that I had a panic attack, and this was based on like an exam. So I didn't even really understand that I can talk like this now because in those 3 years, a lot of panic attacks have happened. So like, I understand that was where it was now, but man, it was not pretty at all. Like, I was taken aback, for lack of better words. My chest is paining me at this present moment, honestly. But yeah, anyways,